I think more importantly, you lack a lot of laning kill threat. Gyrocopter is going to come out now in the second phase to go along with that IO. Man, what's happening? IO-copter again.
Yeah, teams haven't read the update notes. They have. I know what it is, Gareth. They've been reminiscing. They've been remembering the good old times. You ever do that? You ever sit there and like, damn, I loved this hero 4 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. There's no way it can't work. It's back. IO's returned. Captain's Drive. It's got to be the best combo in the world.
KP, don't make fun of players and teams. You'll get in trouble. Reddit make a thread about you. Oh, wait, they already have.
It's the only way they ever make friends about me. But, no, in fairness, like, let's be honest here, Gareth. I got the validation. I'm in the mind of pro players. I know what Kodos is thinking. We want Gyro, and there's only one way Gyro's a hero.
With an IO.
There you go.
Man, I wish I could get behind that train of thought. I'm just not a fan, to be perfectly honest.
Well, to be honest, he's playing in the TI qualifiers. You're not.
That is very true. That is very true. Gyro does alleviate some of the damage issues you have, some catches you have with Wyvern IO being your two supports. You know, homing missile, you've got cooldown to go on top of Winter's Curse to help out with Stampede. Teamfight-wise, they've got okay setups into stuns. Solo pickoff's good. Macro maneuverability is good with Relocate and Stampede to be able to catch targets across the map. And when you pick IO-Copter, the majority of your game plan is map control, right? You want to be pushing out side lanes. You want to be really pressing the issue onto enemy tier 1 and tier 2 side lane towers from as quickly a point as you possibly can. And then relocating around to take fights in the Roche Pit in the enemy jungle and use that relocate, use the Arctic Burn and Stampede to find pickoffs. But Gambit right now, they're setting up for this almost, balancing act where they're going the complete opposite direction. They're going to go for 5-man. DP Exorcism, God Strength from Sven. They have inordinate amounts of acceleration in farm rate, but also pushing power and Roshan taking capabilities behind their lineup, as well as teamfight but from the Dark Willow. They've got reset tools themselves. I'm liking the way that Gambit are developing this draft, as well as the fact that picking Gyro into Sven, I don't feel ever feels good. Ever.
Right
Sven
now,
can jump on you and kill you.
Anything into Sven doesn't feel good, if we're totally honest, Gareth.
I'll take that. I'll take that point, yeah.
It's definitely one of the most desirable carries at the moment, especially with the quick rush of Midas and suddenly just two-tapping people by the 20, 25-minute mark. And also, you're a Gyro, you have an IO, you're kind of going to have to stay close together. It's a bit worrisome. Yeah.
But even if you think historically, counters to the Gyrocopter used to be heroes like, Juggernaut, Lifestealer, these heroes that had magic immunity and large damage output that could close in on the Gyro, not care about the barrage, the cooldown, the homing missiles, and munch on him. It used to be very much Lifestealer with Storm. You zip in, you catch the Gyro, you kill him. In this game, Sven with a Blink Dagger does almost exactly the same thing and can shred the Gyro in a matter of seconds. So it's going to be down to the IO and the Wyvern, this double-layered saving support, trying to keep Gyro alive. They've got like 4 saves, right? You think about it. They've got Wyvern with the Cold Embrace, the Winter's Curse. They've got Stampede, and they've got Tether from the IO to keep the Gyro up and running. So it's not all bad. Gambit now into their final pick.
I don't know how great it is for your draft when the analysis from the analyst is...
It's not all bad. No, I didn't mean it that way. I just felt like I was hammering on a little bit how I liked Gambit a lot, and I just wanted to, bring a bit of sunshine to Team Empire's draft. It
just feels like
it's okay.
It feels like the end of World War II. Hitler's just barricaded in his palace. Like, guys, they're surrounded on all sides. But it's not all bad. We finally got the cup holders come in for the office.
No, he's in the wolf's den. It's not all bad as he gets his pistol out and gets ready to shoot himself.
All right, I don't think Empire's picking techies, right? But nice attempt. Witch Doctor, however, coming out at the end for Gambit. Now, we've seen a few teams do this more regularly, but usually they leave their 5th pick as the 4, not the 5. And Witch Doctor definitely knows a solid 5 here.
So the big reason for that is they were keeping the Omni Knight flexible for as long as possible, right? Making sure the DP doesn't get banned in the last pick. Keeping Omni Knight flexible between 3 and 5 pos until the final pick. Team Empire with a brood mother. I thought their lanes were a little bit weak, but going into this now, it looks like Kodos against the DP with that broodmother he's grabbed for himself. Looks like he might just have what it takes to upset the balance of this game.
You say that. There is some flexibility for Gambit. You know, Omni Knight can deal with Brood reasonably well. Sven, most obvious. And they have flex lanes. You know, recently I watched... try and keep a straight face when I talk about this. Ford Gaming run an off-lane Death Prophet. So they have flexibility of lanes here, Gareth. They could take it different places. Now, I'm not saying Ford won with that Death Prophet off-lane. But they did do it at a tournament. Yeah,
well, we've seen it tried out a couple of times. It definitely is the flexible necessity sometimes that has to come out. But, yeah, they could put safe lane DP if they wanted to, right? And put the Sven mid if that's something that's a necessity coming into this draft.
You know when you get a little bit hungry and you think you've sustained some of that hunger and you keep eating? That's me right now.
And you just got more hungry?
Mm-hmm. But not as hungry as Gambit is to top their group stage by continuing their winning streak here, as I believe they've yet to lose a game.
Have Empire dropped a game yet? They have, 1-1.
I believe so, yeah. Let me just double check that.
They lost to FTM? Wow, Windstrike even?
No, you're thinking of Team Spirit.
It's looking spicy.
Empire, yeah, they lost to Windstrike, that's correct. So yeah. They're even Stevens. Well, when you look at the side of Gambit, they beat Na'Vi on the mainstream, and they beat Nemiga on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on course. It's looking pretty good. I mean, you expect this from the favorites, though. Otherwise, something's gone severely wrong. I mean, if you lose a someone like Nemiga, for example.
I can't wait for Gambit against Windstrike. That looks like it's going to be a sick game, actually. Silent, Kuman, Nongrata, Lil, No Fear up against Gambit's Dahak, Afo, Afterlife, Immersion, FNG. That's going to be a match to remember.
We don't have that one, right?
No, I don't think we do.
Wait to hype up other people and make me disappointed. Anyway,
that's who I am.
Let me just ram up those betting odds. Oh, look at that. So people definitely favor Gambit almost twice. It's 1.4 odds to 2.75. Not really anything too surprising here, though. I've got those odds the wrong way around. We won't talk about that. Now, though, right. But no, we look at this. I'm not really too surprised with what Gambit are likely to do here. They're probably going to start with a tri lane, just look for a quick pick off. You do have the benefit of the Maledict.
Look mid lane here.
Oh, are they starting? Hey, if I can't get TI winnings, I can at least get TI levels. Dig, my friend, dig. I mean, at least that stun doesn't affect... I was really hoping when that came out that the stun affected other people and that I was going to watch a TI qualifier game and a crucial moment someone just gets stunned by a dig. Now
Sven is mid.
Not too surprising, though.
And they put the DP safe lane. Yeah, so they do what we said they would.
We're smart. We know what we're talking about. Sometimes. Top. A little bit of harassment going on. FNG forced to put the Maledict out, but Maiden now taking a lot of damage here. It's only level 1 Maledict, though, so he should be fine. He's feeling so healthy, he even begins to dance vicariously. Doesn't look too good, though. Luckily, it's the South. King I'll give it over to him. He'll be fine. So, yeah, we're going to see the DP in the safe lane. Interesting that they try and... I get why they're doing this, right? Because your alternative is you run a tri-lane around an Omni Knight, which is one of the more greedy heroes in the game. He wants levels. He needs levels.
And coming back to the Witch Doctor last pick, picking Witch Doctor as that pos 5 up against the IO, against the Winter Wyvern always feels pretty nice. You got Maledict, you got Cask. You know there's going to be people standing next to each other for the most part when they're being tethered together.
Forever and ever. And there's a lot of mangoes and Kodos. Just your typical Brood Mother build here.
Just a casual 8 HP regen a second, you know, no big deal.
Funnily enough, Gareth, that's how I build my Svens.
With mangoes?
Yep.
More stuns?
Gotta
more kills?
Support. Playing support Sven, you gotta do the right way. Maiden. Oh my god, this guy is trying to have a lane. They're really not letting up on him, though. Luckily, these creeps will not stop at the neutral camp as the range creeps start to take a little bit of damage.
And King R is pressuring Afo top lane, then it's turned around on its head a little bit.
Yeah, it got a little bit awkward, but he's still got the creep wave, so Afo actually has to be very careful here as he's taking a lot of damage.
Is he dead, actually?
Yeah, King R made a mistake, hung around too long, want that final right click, and instead they'll get a final right click on him. It should be immersions, just give him vision. Instead, they decide to give it... No, no! It looked like they were trying to give it the Witch Doctor, but Merch's like, nope, that's mine. Yoinked.
Yeah, FNG thought it was like one more hit, and then it was one more than one more hit, and he immersion, then maybe that's a good idea. Immersion gets it in the end.
Oh, so Gareth, that lagged out a little bit. Let's restart the call.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. You know, I sometimes forget in its infamous glory, Discord doesn't like very long phone calls.
Yeah. I mean, it's the internet, right? Things that last a long time, they go down.
Some things live eternally, though. Like TeamSpeak. I think most teams still actually use TeamSpeak from what I've heard. Most of the Dota teams.
Yeah. It's more stable.
Yeah.
You can create a local server as well, right? Oh, bottom lane?
Coolidge,
Afterlife?
He's kind of stuck here, but they can't really chase as hard.
He can't
try now. Yeah, he doesn't got the mana. He made a mistake. He's going to try and cut the trees to move away, but there's the Rocket Barrage coming out. Gyro on the prowl. Wants to finish this one, and one more Rocket Barrage will do it. And there's your first blood. Wait, what? First blood? Second blood. That was weird. I don't know about you. I got a slight game freeze there when he almost killed him.
Yeah, I did as well.
FNG. Bait him in. Maiden. He's been escaping so far, but this time it might be a little bit too much. It's going to be close. Cripstorm gets him low, goes to the TP away, but it's too late. He'll get in, Malady. Oh, no, just in time.
Oh, wow.
Woo.
Did he buy Fairy Fire? I think he bought Fairy Fire.
Yeah, it looked like, I'm pretty sure I heard a Fairy Fire there. That was a little bit too close for comfort. Ah, yes, the classic backstabbing IO here. See if Akulich traps himself on the wave like he has last time.
No spirits. Tether and overcharge.
It's almost like spirits got nerfed, Gareth.
Yeah.
It's almost like we don't care because this hero had it coming.
Yeah. He's still gonna click you.
For his
IO with
fierce
48 damage, clicking into a stout shield. Oh, feels good, man.
I'll slowly force him to use his mana. You know, by the time you actually get him low enough that he needs to heal, he'll probably have all that mana back again. Mid, not going too bad for the Broodmother. Kodos up to 23 CS so far. You know, Sven, early on, you don't really pressure too much because obviously you've got all these points in cleave, but you can just juke and jive around the Sven pretty easily.
The trouble is, I don't think you're ever getting kill threat on the Sven, right? Like with Broodmother, the thing is, once you hit like level 6, level 7, you have 2 or 3 options. You go for individual pickoffs and solo kill your mid opponent. You farm your own jungle, or you push forward with webs and cut creep wave and farm enemy jungle, depending on how the lane is going. And it feels like the way this is going, it's going to start off with Kodos farming his jungle and then transition into that wave cutting, farming enemy jungle once he's reached level 7 or so with the additional webs and spiderlings. So Broodmother will accelerate. I'm interested to see what build the Brood goes for after the Hand of Midas, because we have seen a lot of Chinese Broods, and I feel like a lot of European Broods, Matsumberman included, go for that Aghanims build on Broodmother.
It's pretty fearful. Maiden, he should be fearful for his life, gets caught pretty hard, turns around and takes Dark Willow with him. I mean, we've praised him in the other game about his positioning in all regards. That was a little bit too aggressive for him, and he pays the price.
Just a touch. Sven doing some godly stacks with illusions. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's what I like to see.
Stacked up. Big boy gets the job done.
Now, if this was a pub game, he'd be talking to his support saying, why aren't you doing that? Older Kulich in the bot lane. The only thing he looks to be doing is dying, but he stays alive, gets the salve out. FNG throws out the cast. Gyro tank in the tower.
Oh, bounces back.
Moving in. They can't get close enough, and Kulich has no mana to work with either.
I'm actually wondering, you make that joke, you know? I'm wondering if he actually gave control to FNG, because FNG was AFK. Like, his hero wasn't doing anything while the Sven illusions were stacking.
That's a fair point, actually. Yeah. Makes sense as well. It's not like he's going to be doing anything else, right? You're just going out for some wards, click a place on the map, and arrive there later. As he does get that ward down in the spot lane. This one is a bit more interesting. Like, it's not exactly spotting any aggressive rotations from the Brood, because you can already predict those with the webs anyway. Is this just in build up for the next runes, maybe? And to spot the bot runes? Oh, there you go. Answer my question.
Easy rune.
Just wants to make sure he denies the IO, I guess. It makes sense as well with the bottle pickup.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Base boosts are now online with the gyro. This is where you can actually start to cause some problems for Kulich, who... Is he going to go for the Soul Ring? I mean, he's queued up boots. It feels like Soul Ring is a necessity for this hero right now. Especially with the buffs they recently gave to the item.
It is, but he also needs to be able to disengage. Like, Windlace plus Brown Boots means that he can just run away from the rocket barrage.
That's a fair point. And it's not like you're going to turn around for kills anytime soon. You know
Top
you're
lane.
left alone in this lane. Top lane going in. Centaur slowed down. Can't even get the stomp out because he gets stunned up with the Curse Crown. They throw out the Cask Rather just to make sure he dies. They're holding the Maledict just in case King R shows himself as well. All the while, mid lane. No action there. Just even farm. The Hack keeping up with Kodos. Actually accelerating past him a little bit. And I think most of that is actually just lane and jungle farm, right? Because the spiders have been dodged out. It's not like he's been inflating.
If you flip to the net worth, almost 4,000 on the Sven right now because he's been taking out those jungle stacks and camps. So that's some of the CS advantage he's getting is through the jungle, which was built up for him. But it is the majority of the lane CS that Dahak has been getting. But Kodos has the Hand of Midas and a Soul Ring at 7 minutes, and he's going into the Diffusal Blade build. So this is something that we've seen before, is Diffusal Blade into BKB Aghanim Scepter, and 25-30. Oh, God.
They almost got him there, and Save's going to go for the TP out. He'll be able to make it. They dove the town,
Top
there's no
lane
punishment, but in top, they go for FNG. He gets left behind. That's that painful moment of supports where you're just curious as to where your core has gone. And the only thing he says is doing your job, rotating. So they might
Sven
switch
will have
up.
the Hand of Midas now as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to switch up here. Afo should probably stay bot, and then you stick Omnight top, right? Because one has TP, the other doesn't. Or are they sticking him? Okay, he's just going to walk. It feels awkward at this point in the game as a Death Prophet to be out of lane.
It sure does. Especially when you're not level 6 yet at 8 minutes from this defensive trial lane, while Centaur has just cracked level 5, looking reasonably good as that position 3 for Team Empire. Because DP very much is that pressure hero, right? Moves towards objectives, plays aggressively once she's level 7, level 8, and you base the majority of your movements on the map around the cooldown of her ultimate. You want Exorcism to be able to pressure into these tier 1s. King R.
Just poking and prodding with the DD.
Okay.
Yep. No way they can easily jump onto him. And yeah, no, it's not just using the ultimate, right? It's another one of those insurance policies, right? If they abandon a lane, they risk you throwing it out. So unless they kind of like do a fake back, they just hide in the trees and then just pounce on you. You always have to play around the ultimate even when it's not used. Now that he has 6, the threat is there. Maybe you look for an opening, but it's not the same as DP mid, right? Where it's like, I'll commit this first exorcism, I'll get the tier 1 mid. It's huge value for us. The best you can get if you stay here is a tier 1 top, which that's just a shrug, whatever. I am surprised that Afterlife even came back to this lane at stage. There's an Ags rush underway for Dream. Not even going for the drums, Sanjin Yash, anything like that we usually see. Of course, he can't rely on his IO anymore, as they did remove that Ags talent. Good riddance to that hero once more.
Yeah, the IO Copter. It kind of got the Lina treatment. You know, nerfing everything that's good about the combination. So then we see Lina's now buying Ether Lens to try and mitigate the changes.
Oh no, FNG, this is not your leg of the woods. And IO actually died in the bot in response. They're chasing for more, looking on a Dream, but they don't have the damage. They threw out the stun for the IO instead.
They do have the bounty rune. Oh, no, they don't.
Nope.
Somehow Gyro gets that bounty rune. Like, okay, cool.
I guess they already assumed it was gone. But, I mean, that ward... Actually, no, they saw it. They knew everything.
They had their vision. Yeah.
Bit awkward. They were slowed down a little bit by the cooldown, I guess. That might be it. Top. Trying to slow down Apo. We'll hit him with a Splinter Blast. No Stampede, though. They're just short of level 6. The Stomp coming out. The Relocate is on its way in. They're propping the target. Healing up the Spirit Siphon, but not enough. He throws out the Exorcism. He needs to stay alive. Terrorized, but he's got there as well. DP going to be killed by his own team. In his Exorcism, he's dead. And Dream with the flat cannon scaring the rest of them away. Mistakes were made. And now rotation. The Hack moving in with the haste. 1 tap, 2 taps. See you later, King R. They'll ping on the Maiden. But it's too late. Terrorize coming out. Catches.
Oh my god, that hit.
Just in time. Just the tip. Centaur will be found. He'll throw out the Stomp, but hit up by the Bramble Mace. He can't move away quick enough. And with the Maledict there, he knew he was dead. Double kill for Dahak. Moving back to mid just in time to stop Kodos from taking his tower.
1 tap, 2 slap, easy clap. That's how we do it as the Sven. Walk into lane, find the Winter Wyvern, no biggie. Broodmother does get a lot of pressure onto that mid tier 1.
Oh no, they know. They found Afterlife.
Louise.
That Typical Duke spot. He gets spotted out. He's moving away, but Afo has arrived. Might find some vengeance. Needs to back away, though. Needs to be careful because that rocket barrage does hurt. As he's witnessing right now the Stampede. They'll play straight through him. And they'll look to kill him off. They dive with the tower with Io healing him up. Dream will just chase, and never let up.
Dark dies to Broodmother, and Brood's gonna go for an FNG kill as well. Kodos wants more!
This is turning into a Brood game all in its entirety. No one can deal with Kodos right now.
Okay, so let's break this down.
It's Brood.
Gambit just lost 3 core heroes in 3 different positions to 2 different heroes. Team Empire come out of the woodwork all of a sudden, slap down onto Gambit. This Iocopter just diving onto that DP behind tier 1. No reaction whatsoever from the Willow. The Witch Doctor's nowhere to be found because he's trying to defend the Sven back in the jungle. Everything is clicking into place for Empire there. Kodos is even going to go for the mid tier 1 finish at this point. And you can see the webs extending, right? Into that dire jungle. Didn't go for any of that wave cutting nonsense that I thought he might have to do against the Sven, because Dahak left the lane and went into jungle of his own accord. And that allowed the Broodmother to start extending her grasp on the map.
I'm feeling a pattern here. It sounds a lot like Broodmother.
Yeah.
Almost feels like we've gone back a year to those old Broodmother games. Because right now, it's just definitive. Yes, Gyro's been doing great, but really the story of the game is, who the hell kills this spider?
Who the hell kills the spider is a very good question. So we need to watch out for Kodos' next item. I don't know if it's going to be Ags now or BKB now and then Ags after, but I feel like that's definitely the route that you should be taking as the Broodmother nowadays, because it gives you just full map control. You know, having 20 webs, having improved webs, having disgustingly sort of spread map control as the Broodmother gives you not only the ability to pressure into points at which the Sven is farming in the jungle, because that's where he's going to be. The Omni Knight needs to catch up, and he can't show on lane anymore because the Gyrocopter poses such a threat to him with this Io next to him with a tether all the time. The DP has to show on lane, but again, she's scared of the same things the Omni is, so she's probably going to be in the jungle. And all of a sudden, you've got this 20 hero pile-up in the Dire jungle. That's why they are warding their own jungle. You can look at the Dire ward coverage right now. 2 top lane watching entrance points into their northern jungle. 1 in their northern jungle. They've left the bot lane alone because Omni Knight's Omni Knight. If he dies, he dies. That's whatever. But they should go and ward down bottom lane to protect the Sven in his triangle as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a farm congestion issue for Gambit right now. Well, Brood, the story is digestion. Who do I eat next? Probably going to focus on top. You've slowly got those webs that have been creeping in, and there's still a tier 1 tower up in. You want to get rid of Afo. You want to force him off the map completely. You've already forced 2 heroes to fall back to the holy triangle of safety. I'm not sure how long that stays safe for, though. Especially if he does go for the Ags that you were talking about on the Broodmother. He's going for the BKB, though.
Yeah. This is the build that I mentioned first. I wasn't sure if it was Ags before BKB or after. It's usually BKB into Ags. But the rate at which she was accelerating, I wasn't quite sure.
He's moving in now. Afo in trouble. Terrorize going to come out, but Diffuser slows him down, moves in, finish off field. Cool down with the relocate in to zone them all away. The Stampede to chase on through. Looking for more. Kulich came to the tower, and he will be going to the afterlife as they find him on the back line. Immersion still being chased onto by Dream. One more tap will do it, and he'll find the kill. Sven's still alive. The Hack will be able to pick up a rune. Now he needs to get the hell out of dodge. He'll TP out towards the bot lane, but Seiyu has already taken those runes. Boy,
oh boy. You know, when we talk about the Iocopter always needing some additional form of help when it comes to, you know, maneuverability or kind of macro movement, the Queen of Pain, the Storm, the Ember Spirit, Spirit Breaker, someone who can chase across the map, set up fights, or at least follow through with a relocate. I never think of Broodmother as one of those heroes. But today, I will. From now on, I will think of Broodmother as one of those heroes, because she is just swinging into fights from nowhere. She is 1 second at Shrine, farming Ancients. Next second, she's top tier 1, killing and slaying. Next second, she's mid, farming away again. Next second, she's back into the jungle. This hero is just sliding from one objective, from one farm pattern to the next without halting at all. 12,000 net worth now up on Kodos. BKB is done. Ags is queued up. It is the build. It is the perfect transition. And Kodos is having the perfect game. 5-0-0. Beautiful stuff. I don't want to say it, but beautiful stuff from the Broodmother.
Yeah, you're forced to in this situation. It's your job after all. But
feels bad, man.
I mean, right now, I'm just imagining Kodos sitting there. Oh, hello. Just a little bit of a ward and run. Wyvern pays the price. Keeps Centaur alive. But I'm just imagining Kodos sitting there. And his team says, let's fight. And he immediately just puts on the Jaws music. Then pauses it again. Then they say we need to fight again. It's like, all right, don't worry. I'm mid-Jaws track right now. Just got to see what happens when the Jaws music runs out. Does it just loop? Or will there be some form of rebuttal? Will the Sven be able to finally actually do something in this game?
I mean, look at what the Sven's buying. Because of Incapacitating Blight giving 60% mischance, Sven feels condemned almost to just going MKB. Usually in this position, we see the BKB into AC, into Daedalus with a Blink Dagger slotted in potentially. Now it is all about this Sven needs to face off, needs to stand off against the Broodmother any way he can, and MKB seems to be the only way he feels that's possible. So you've already forced the hand of the Dire team to change their item progression just by having Broodmother in the game as they make a move on to Dream and Seiyu.
Going in right now, forcing out the cooldown pretty early. They're stunned up with the Curse Crown together. They need to escape, but the cask is there. One of the beautiful counters to the IO combo. Merchant does go down. He didn't throw out the Terrorize to turn around on Afterlife next. He'll heal up, trying to retreat, but this has backfired very clearly. FNG, he might pay a price. He'll go down. Dream gets the kill. They don't chase up the high ground. They're smarter than that. But that was Gambit's move to make.
Oh dear. Io now has Spirit Supply slow. His balls have been buffed back to their normal state.
And all you needed was a measly level 10.
My goodness.
This IO thing. You say 3 versus 2. 3 versus 2, and we're talking about heroes to counter that, right? The Curse Crown, we saw him double stun. The cask should work out, but the timing is so off that say you had the tether coming off cooldown, so he just breaks it and then just reconvenes. Okay,
listen, bring up hero level. We don't do this often enough. Hero level, Broodmother's 20, my dude. Yep. Sven is nearby at 17. He's meant to be up there with his acceleration rate. But you think about where the DP is right now. Level 11. We haven't seen a game at all come out from his Alpha and in DP. He's animation canceling mid. He feels lost. Got a Yule Scepter. Yeah, it's up and running. But still, level 1 Exorcism hasn't pressured a single tier 1. Radiant tier 1s, they're all full HP, right? Yeah, mid lane tier 1 is the only one to take damage. It's like 400 damage. There has been literally no pressure from Gambit. This has to be their time to shine, but they are going to be fighting into BKBs now. Broodmother has it complete. Gyro just picked up his. So the fact that you have this kind of magic damage set up through Cask, through Terrorize, like you're mentioning, the counters to the IO Copter, and you've got Sven with Stormhammer and the God Strength damage to be pumped out, you need to make the move, but how do you do it? It's so goddamn impossible.
Well, we always know it's a bad sign when this is your trade. You're going for a tier 1, and your opponent is taking 2 tier 2s. Yeah. And they might take more.
And going high ground with Brood as well.
Knock, knock. There's a spider at your door. Don't open it. Don't let it in. Don't look. Just pretend it's not happening. Sven TPing back.
Like she has Aegis BKB.
Yeah, look at mid. Like no matter what Empire does right now, they're getting value out of the map. The tier 2 is down. They can push on 2 lanes, and here's the thing. Sven is really the only one that can deal with either of these 2. And he can only be in 1 lane at a time. Dream's heading back though.
One thing Gambit do have here is the fact that it is only 20 minutes into the game, so buyback and respawn timers are cheap and reasonably short, respectively. So no actual high ground commitment there from the Radiant team. But this is where they can now start to think about really pressuring top tier 3, forcing the hand of the Dire team to keep coming back to defend, because that breaks the rhythm. That breaks the back of the Sven. He wants to now progress from this MKB into Blink into BKB, right? That's where he needs to be in the next 5 or 6 minutes. And if you don't farm perfectly for those 5-6 minutes, you're not going to get to that point. So your synchronization with the rest of your squad, it just isn't going to be there. You aren't going to be able to do your job.
And I feel all good about that for Gambit. You saw that move, right? They bring everyone for the bot runes, but they didn't. That's usually a typical smoke scenario, right? Bait them onto the runes, kill them off. But they are so lacking in confidence to take that fight right now. They don't bother. They just walk in, they show their faces to let Gyro know, don't come here. They just want to get any gold they can without any risk to themselves. That is the state of the game for Gambit.
Oh, I like this. Seiyu has bottle, stick, mech, no boots, no full magic wand, no TP scroll, because screw TP scrolls, no one needs them. But he's going into Eon Disc immediately, so he will not be blown up by that Sven. That is the most important thing right now. You know, he could have gone for a Ghost Scepter, he could have gone for a Yule Scepter, but that's all nonsense. He needs that Eon Disc. Good stuff.
They're contemplating going for the Sven here. They have to realize there's people behind him, though, so they'll just back away. They might find an easy kill in the FNG. They realize it's not worth the risk. Oh, jump in. Spider's coming up. The hack. What's the fight here? Relocate coming in. Stomps there. Oh, no, I'm not trying to keep him out of the fight. Goes straight activate. Could also move away. Terrorize being charged up. The cooldown's on Immersion. He needs to back away. Dream activating the Stampede. Moving in with the BKB activated. They can't fight up against it. The hack goes to the TP out. Will make it. But Coolidge, I'm not sure if he's so lucky. The Winner's Curse is there, and on the side, they'll find a kill in the FNG. They'll turn around. They'll take the Omni Knight as well. as he has no escape from this. 2 dead. And you still have the exorcism for the high ground, but the God Strength can pop. He'll move in, the stun comes out, terrorizing the backline. Nice force stuff away, keeps Stream alive though. And now the movement in, going pretty deep here. Broodmother looking for a target, but hit up by the Cursed Crown. Gonna give over the Aegis. 1 life gone, buyback forced out from the Witch Doctor and from the Willow. Stomp, mistimed, and Yule's up in the air. Will be brought down, but too little, too late. Centaur falls, Kodos standing and fighting up against the hack. He hits pretty hard, but the death ball there as well. Who's gonna die first? The stun comes out, Brood is down. Finally, they find a way to squash this one, but no, Gyro! He comes back in and plows straight through Gambit. FNG the last one alive, but not for long. As Empire, they've reached the point. It's no longer the Brood show. Gyro has showed up for his performance.
You thought you had our Brood Mother? Yeah, you got her. Good job, good job. Gyro comes back in and absolutely destroys you. My goodness, that's Sven on his last legs before Dream pops in, clears them all out. Afterlife now respawns, and he's like, well, I want to defend these buildings, but hey, it's kind of hard. I'm being pummeled under my own tier 4s.
They have no easy way to go about this. The Met being up, even a Vitality boost to keep you healthy. And Dream, the flat cannons alone hurt. You already see how far back Omni Knight stays. They got what they came for. They can go back for the Shrine. They can look towards the next Roche. And now Gambit, the onus is on them. They have to make a move in the next 5 minutes, or this game may just be done.
Oh, they need that BKB on Sven. They need some kind of item on Afo. He has plate mail as the casual plate mail to defend up against the Gyro, the Broodmother, the Spiderlings, which, you know, is a decent pickup by all means. That BKB, though, is going to be a primary objective for Afo, for Sven. I think everybody else, their farm priority goes down in the dumps right now. Nobody is allowed to hit creeps apart from those 2 heroes because BKB's objective #1 for the Dire squad right now.
The problem you have is usually we look at the comparison of BKB time as we say, okay, Team AA got their BKBs, in this case Empire much quicker, but they use loads of charges. That's not the case. They've taken down 1 lane and they've only used their 10 seconds.
Yeah. Exactly. And now they're dealing with Broodmother's webs from Aghanim Scepter. It makes me so sad. The entire map is going to be fluffy and webby.
It's a game of territory, you know, and he's just got a brutal advantage, just trying to paint the map white. That's all he's doing.
We don't like that.
But,
Sven.
Relocating the hack.
Oh, dear.
He doesn't have his BKB. Still God Strength stun coming out. McDream BKB'd up. The hack can't run away quick enough. Now Centaur moving forward to the back line. The Guardian Angel won't save the day. Instead, the Kulich now stuck. Trapped. No way out of this. The TP out by FNG was successful, but they leave behind Afterlife.
There's no buyback. It's game.
Yep. So look at move in. GG comes out. They know it's over.
Holy shit.
Welcome to Broodland. This was the typical Broodmother. You know, I feel like these days, Gareth, we talk about these stomp heroes. We used to talk about things like Huskar and Broodmother. We don't talk about them anymore. We usually don't think of them to be this decisive in a game. But I feel like we're in 2017 here.
Listen, you go back and watch that cast again. You go through the drafting phase, and you can hear us both talking about how we like Gambit's draft, the way it progressed. It was nice. It was linear. It was easy to understand. And that's why we like it. Often as casters, we fall into this trap of understanding a meta or a draft and enjoying it and liking it. And we see the progression and we kind of figure out, you know, what's good and what's bad and what people are trying to do. And you look at Empire's draft, and I'm there going, I don't really like it. Iocopter, not a big fan, doesn't really fit the meta. Wyvern's okay, they've got a couple of answers here and there. And then the Broodmother pick comes out last, and your brain just goes, well, that sure is a hero. And then you see it in action, and you realize how actually important that Broodmother pick was. Just forcing the lane change to start off with. That ruins Sven's acceleration, ruins DP's acceleration, because she was stuck at level 5 at like 11 minutes in or something insane. Didn't get to level 6 quick, didn't get to pressure tier 1s. And then your entire synchronization, your team cohesion, your timings that you're hitting as Gambit, out the window. Your game plan's out the window. You have to change everything, modify everything by 3, 4, 5 minutes. And those 3 or 4, 5 minutes where you delay your timing opens up 2 or 3 minutes to Empire. Allows the Brood to get that additional item on you. Take Roshan, get the Gyro and Io into action, relocating on top of Centaur Stomps, who has a blink now. Everything was beautiful. Empire, really gorgeous gameplay.
Definitely magnificent. As you mentioned in the game, you know, you need that kind of one-up, that crutch for the Gyro-Irid combo to come into its works, and Brood, the perfect pick, worked out. Even though Gambit got the matchup that we said they needed, and it should have been good, it just felt like this is a typical case of Brood things, and in combination with, I'd say, DPs not really being able to do anything in the outer lanes. I mean, DP's not being able to do anything. This whole game was the story of Apo just feeling invalidated. Like, we saw some attempts. I think it was really decisive. I felt like his game was over when he had to ultimate at his tier 1 top, right? Like, when that backfired, you're like, okay, I don't know what he does now in this game. This is all on Dahak, and if Dahak can't deliver, you've got nothing.
It's over. It's done.
And that game is done with a quick victory for Team Empire. 24 minutes. Same amount of kills. Flashy, I like it. But we've got some flashy, we've got some a little bit tasty up next. We have got Na'Vi for the first time on this channel, and they'll be facing off against Team Spirit.
Oh, yeah.
Some classic names from both sides of the CIS region, and I am buzzed for this. I'm quite intrigued. I haven't actually got a chance to cast Na'Vi in a while. They were looking on the rise, Gareth, through and through, and then it just seemed to curb out of nowhere. Like, you know, what happened? They were looking like a team that would eventually start to make it towards majors, and then it just never happened. Alliance got there instead.
It's hard to, like, put a finger on it, right? Because Blizzy was performing nicely. They brought Zayats in to pair up with Blizzy, and things looked good. Seneko captaining looked solid. Magical was having some spectacular mid lane performances. You know, his Queens of Pain, Crystallize, you know, on his Wraith King, on his Faceless Void, on his Anti-Mage looked sick. And then they just stopped performing. It was a really weird kind of slump that they fell into. So they've got to, maybe it's, you know, momentum, maybe it's sort of psychological that might be playing into it, where they feel like, you know, the name, the brand of the team is bigger than the individual players themselves, which is definitely something that can affect players, especially when they're reasonably new on the scene. You know, Blizzy, Zayats, Magical, Crystallize haven't been in pro Dota for more than, you know, 2-3 years, whereas the players they are replacing, you know, Na'Vi, talk about absolute all-stars playing on that squad in previous iterations of the roster. But if they're able to, you know, break past maybe a psychological barrier, maybe the team captaining needs to be picked up by, you know, different players at different times. There's loads of things that can go wrong. It's difficult to pinpoint, but I think they've got the actual player power, right? They've got the skill and the ability to stand up to a lot of these bigger CIS teams for sure.
We just recently saw Team Spirit on this channel. They did win up against Fly2 in their first match. So we'll go to a short break, then we'll be back to see if Team Spirit's aggression was delayed but will continue to assert dominance. Or if Na'Vi, like a Mariah Carey song, can just shake off their previous performances and start to deliver.
The Taylor Swift song.
I know, for the younger generation, for the older generation, we covered both bases.
I know.